day, they kind of would be like, I did not expect that. So, hence the history of me.
Let's see if we get sun. We get sun.
I ended up on TV, I ended up on radio. Then I get a call from my friend.
We'll bring you guys up. 1 second, guys. All right, guys, put a 1 in the chat if you get the sound of my voice. Put a 1 in the chat. We'll give you a couple of seconds to get in here. Okay, listen up, guys. Today, testimony from Capricorn Clark is riveting. Immediately, when she walks into the courtroom, all eyes are on her. She takes the witness stand and she tells a story that I personally wasn't expecting. One of the most significant things that she revealed as telling her story is that Kid Cudi did not tell the full story, nor did Cassie. Well, Clark, she's not sparing anyone. And with that, let's tell you how it went. So she comes in the courtroom. She does her introduction. The prosecution introduces her. Prosecution shows the 1 in the chat. If you can hear the sound of my voice, because I know we had a little interruption just now. Can you hear me? Yes or no? Can you hear me? Yes or no? Okay, good. So I want to get down to, I don't want to go through the argument in the morning with the lawyers. We can talk about that during transcripts. Let's talk about what Capricorn Clark tells the jurors. She tells the jurors essentially that Puff came to her home. She looked through the peephole. She sees Puff pacing back and forth through the peephole. She doesn't see his full body. She decides to open the door for Puff. When she opens the door for Puff, there's a gun. Puff has a gun in front of him. Tells her, get dressed. We're going to kill that nigga. Talking about Kid Cudi. Puff makes her come downstairs to a car where one of his bodyguards, Ruben, is waiting. She gets inside the vehicle. She sits in the back to the right. Puff gets in the vehicle with the gun on his waist. They go to Kid Cudi's home. The home that Kid Cudi testified to, they go to his home. Puff and Ruben, the bodyguard, gets out of the vehicle, goes into Kid Cudi's home with the gun. So they're waiting for Kid Cudi, looking for him. So Clark calls Cassie on the phone and says, Cassie, Puff is in the house, in Cudi's house. Clark hears Cudi scream in the background. He's upset. Puff's at his house. He rushes out the place where him and Cassie's at, races to his house. By this time, Puff had already left the house and got back in the vehicle. Cudi sees Puff. A chase ensues. So Cudi never told anyone that Puffy was chasing him. So there was a high-speed chase. Puff was trying to catch, according to testimony, Puff was trying to catch Cudi. Cudi lost Puff. The police are coming down the block. At this point, Cudi's called the police. Cudi's in the dust. The police are heading towards Cudi's home, and Puffy's going the opposite direction. Cudi never told anyone that he was being chased by Puff. Why do you guys think that? Why do you guys think the reason why Cudi did not tell the police that he was in a high-speed chase? With the cops passing, the cops passed Puff. Puff had the gun. Listen, think about this. Puff had the gun in his vehicle. Had the cops did a stop of his vehicle, they would have found the gun there. Then they would have had Clark in there. Maybe Clark would have told the story. Hey, I'm being kidnapped. And now you guys know that Puffy and Ruben was in the Cudi's house, but Clark stayed in the vehicle. She stayed in the vehicle. She was scared. She didn't know. This was her employer. She was just doing what he told her. And the prosecution leading up to this piece of testimony, they did an excellent job in getting the information needed to get that in front of the jury. This was a bad day for the defense. We didn't hear the cross, but the testimony by Clark is riveting. And I have some notes. We're going to go into some of the notes. And why is this significant? Why is this significant? It's significant because the individual behind me, the guy right here, I interviewed him last year, and he told me a tale of him being chased by Puffy. That's relentless Aaron right there. And coincidentally, he's here today, and he didn't know what the testimony was going to be. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is a major, major development in the case against Sean Diddy Combs. You had Cassie, who spared him and never told that part of the story. You have Cudi that never told that part of the story. But you have Capricorn Clark is spilling the beans. Spilling the beans, ladies and gentlemen. So now how would the cross go? We'll see. We'll see. Do you think Clark is making this up, that there was a high-speed chase? What do you think? Miss Pittman.
So I kind of.
You were in the courtroom like I was in the courtroom. What do you think about that testimony? Wasn't it powerful?
I believe this is the one testimony that the prosecution needed that was good to RICO, that was good to kidnapping.
Let's talk about that. The RICO dots were being connected today.
Yes.
She's an executive. She had multiple positions. She was a personal assistant. She testified that she was out of the country. She was asked to go get some cocaine. She didn't want to get cocaine. Why? Because her mother died of cocaine. And the exchange between the two was so powerful. And I looked at the jurors. They were locked in. Another part of the testimony was when she testified that when he came to the house and told her, get dressed, we're going to kill this nigga. She said just like that. I don't want to go.
I don't give a fuck what you want to do. Go get dressed.
Go get dressed.
At gunpoint.
At gunpoint. And how was he dressed when he was at her door?
Had on a white shirt, gray slacks, a slit down the middle, and you can see his
What's up with the slit down the middle?
I don't know how that happened. But since his pants were busted open.
Right. Yeah, his pants are right. So when he's out, and the other crazy part is the car chase. We never knew about the car. Why didn't Cudi tell?
He did not tell us about that car chase.
He did not tell us about the car chase.
All he said was that he didn't get out of the car. He kept going.
He definitely kept going.
Yeah, it was a chase. But he lost him.
He lost him. But the police were going to Cudi's house. Puff was going the other direction. Cudi going this direction. And Puffy relaxing now and filling out the clear. Had they had a car stop and they found the gun in the car, did you have a problem with Clark not leaving when they were up in Puffy's house? Did you have an issue with that?
It was fear. I mean, if you left, it was a sign of guilt. You
Right.
were going to find her anyway.
Right.
She's been threatened how many times now about being killed? You got the Central Park. Hold on, there's
Yeah.
but you got the Central Park.
Well, hold on. I didn't even talk about the Central Park. Let's talk about the Central Park. So they go to Central Park. My favorite park I work out in. They go to Central Park. Puff at night with the big 5 times biggest her. And what does Puff say to her? What's the words he used? The choice words he used to her.
I didn't know.
It was the Suge Knight.
Yeah,
I
didn't know you had anything to do with Suge Knight. If anything would have happened,
right.
you're gonna have to kill
So apparently she didn't reveal to Puff that she had a relationship with, like, some kind of business relationship with Suge Knight.
Her
Puff
best
didn't.
friend is the baby mother of Suge Knight.
Oh my God. The best friend is the baby mother of Suge Knight. Hold on, 50 Cent got caught straight too today. 50 Cent caught straight today too. Puff like guns. What do you say?
It was Chris Lighty, herself, and Sean Combs in an elevator.
In the elevator.
At a TV event.
Yes.
And Puff said to Chris
I was at that
Lighty,
event.
I don't do all that talking. I like guns.
I like guns. As it relates to 50 Cent.
Yeah.
So we know why 50 Cent is on Puff's neck.
Yeah.
We know 50 knows some things. Curtis Jackson knows some things because he's been on Rod Puff's neck from the very beginning. And he might got information that this was about to go down.
Yeah.
And then when they brought Chris Lighting, if you guys know the history of Chris Lighting, you know, he died under strange circumstances. There was too much. This is probably the best witness the prosecution have in the whole case.
Yes, I agree.
This is the best witness. I don't know how Niflio's going to. Very credible, very matter of fact, very specific. When the prosecutor made a mistake, she corrected the prosecution, and she was on point. It was like she had a Memorex memory because she knew everything that was the questions, and she wasn't hedging. It didn't look like she was coming across as a liar, and she was very animated and graphic. So some powerful moments there. There was a lot of powerful moments there.
You know what? What I watched was her strength. You know, although her voice was quivering and although she shed a few tears, she powered through.
She powered through.
And she didn't really make eye contact with Sean Combs.
No, she didn't.
Said in the blue side, like eyes cut to the side.
Now, people are going to ask the question. She left the employee. She came back. She got various positions. I guess that's going to be part of the course. Why do you think that a person would leave and come back after making these type of statements? You know, what do you think that? What do you attribute that to? Her leaving and keep coming back.
Well, so you know she came back in a position where she's not next to him.
Right, and then she talked about that.
Yeah, so she said, I came back,
but I don't want to be in your house.
I don't. Be in your house. You're not in
right, and then when you came to my house with the gun.
With a gun.
I tried to get away from you. Now you're in my house with your pants stripped. You got a slit in your pants. You got a gun there, and you talking about you want to kill a nigga. Well, I don't kill niggas. I don't kill niggas. I'm just here. I'm trying to work. My job description is not killing niggas. You know, like I'm trying to work. You want to kill niggas. I want to work. Now you want to kidnap me. So what I got to do? And she was 28. She was 28. She was 28. Let's talk about when they thought she stole the 3 pieces of jewelry. The 3 pieces of jewelry, ladies and gentlemen, was so, you know, I understand how polygraphers work. She was being given a polygraph for 5 days. 5 days. And they told her, keep calm. You got to keep calm. You're feeling it. Wait a minute.
What would happen to her?
She'll be thrown in East River. She would be thrown in East River, ladies and gentlemen, if she failed the polygraph. So under those circumstances, it's like having a surgeon with a shaky hand near your heart. What can you do? So this is significant, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how the course is going to be, but I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, they have a big hurdle to overcome here. You know, and I saw every person in that courtroom was locked in. If you were dozing off, you wasn't dozing off when she started talking. Significant. It's so many lines that we had. I mean, so many quotes. I mean, it was just like deep. You got Ruben, you got she calling 3 security. When Cassie was getting kicked her from the house to the street. Kicked her.
That was the one time I will say that I heard of a security guard intervening in something that Sean Combs was. So there was that breakfast she came back because they were on Two-Star Island.
Right.
And she went missing for like an hour.
That's right.
Came back, and she made some breakfast the next day, and you know there was no bacon, no turkey bacon, and she was like, I fucking hate it here.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh my goodness, the turkey bacon. Puff kept pushing her. You hate it here. But then that's when she left her employment. Kept pushing her out. She said she hated here. The chef went and told Puff, snitching ass chef. Went and told Puff. She said she hated here. Oh, you hated here? Puff came over like a madman. Started pushing her out. Wait a minute. What do you mean you hate it here? I treat you good, don't I? Forget my pants is open. I got a gun. I treat you good, don't I? What type of Tobias black lights is happening here? So this was just, she was such a great witness.
Yeah, she was. And that was the moment that Rue intervened. And was it Rue or Uncle Polly?
We had Uncle Paulie.
Yeah, he intervened in that moment and Puff to stop
Right.
pushing her.
Right.
And then she had to go upstairs, pack her things.
But they couldn't
and
stop.
leave the house.
They couldn't stop the beautiful Cassie.
Right, that's what I said. This is the first time I'm hearing them actually step in.
Yeah. So
Any moment like that.
So let's talk about connecting the dots. We're talking about Rico. We have an employee who's been asked to do things under her employ
Yeah.
that harmed someone else.
Yes.
That harmed someone else, and that's not going to bode well for the jurors when they go into the deliberation room. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, can you just step up here and let people see who you are? You're very, come on, just let people see who you are. And then you tell about how we met first and foremost. So we're not just strangers over here. We met how many years ago? 6 years ago?
More than that. It was about 8 or 9
Yeah, it
years
was a long
ago
time.
Times Square.
She said, Dennis, I want to get into media.
Yep.
And look at you're in media.
Yes,
Not just in
National
media.
News.
Tell them where they can find you.
Find me on News Nation. I am the Northeast Bureau producer for News Nation. Chris Cuomo, Ashley Banfield. Check me out. I'm Ava Pittman TV.
And so when we met, and I started telling you the stories I cover, you're like, okay, I want to do this.
Right here in New York.
Right in New York. And she's doing it. And we meet again.
We meet again.
At one of the biggest
It's
cases,
amazing.
one of the biggest cases in hip hop.
This is culture changing.
How are you able to deal with some of the testimony? I know you're a professional, but you hear some of the testimony coming out with the whole assault allegations and all the freak off and everything. How do you feel when you hear that testimony? What's your thoughts about that?
You know, personally, it does speak to a culture of, well, let's talk about hip hop culture, right? A lot of that behavior has been normalized in hip hop culture, whether it's assault, whether it's flying out women.
Not to this level. I'm gonna be honest. I've been in hip hop a long time. This right here disgustes me.
This is crazy.
I got daughters.
This is a little freaky. I will say that the baby oil, all that. That's his personal business. But the assault, the flying out for sexual, contact and all of that. This is culture changing. You can tell there's a shift in hip hop culture.
Paradigm shift, absolutely.
You hear other hip hop artists really speaking to this, saying, things have changed because of this. And as far as the assault, obviously our hearts go out to any victim of sexual assault, of abuse, of gaslighting, of all of that, whether male or female. Because we've heard multiple victims from both sides. So
what do you think about the way the prosecution is building the case from the way it started? Because it started with Cassie.
Yeah, they had to build their foundation to set them up for obviously sex trafficking, prostitution, racketeering, and of course ultimately the umbrella of RICO. So they had to set that foundation first with Cassie's testimony, and now what we're hearing today is kind of what you're going to hear moving forward.
Right.
We were waiting for these bombshells. Okay, the salacious testimony is out of the way.
Right.
We've heard from the escorts, we've heard from Cassie, the domestic violence was brutal, but now
we're bringing in weapons in.
Yes, we bring the weapons in.
We bring in language about guns.
Yes.
You insert Chris Lighting.
Yes.
You talk about 50 Cent.
Yes.
You talk about Suge Knight. Mm-hmm. You see how mad he got, according to her, how mad he got, knowing that she has some kind of affiliation with Suge Knight. That really, he took her to Central Park.
And she even said herself, I could have been more transparent about my background.
Right.
About working with Suge Knight in the past.
Right.
But yeah, we shall see. We shall see how this all pans out. But this is the testimony that's key for the government. And I will say this is a strong witness, very credible witness. And the defense...
They were saying Kid Cudi was a snitch, but he really didn't snitch. If he told about the car chase, then he felt like he was a...
But was he going to? Because you got to remember there was a threat there too.
Right. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So there was a according to Clark, a plot hatched to convince Cudi not to testify.
Right.
So they wanted to have a meeting and bring everyone together, and they wanted Cassie to convince Cudi not to testify.
Right.
So I think maybe
and specifically, Sean Combs said, make sure police know that I had nothing to do with this, or quote, I will kill all you MFers, so.
Right, that was significant.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just listening to this one, I'm gonna say, wait a minute.
Yes.
This is not what I expected this morning.
No, I didn't. And you know what? We were supposed to hear from the CFO last week,
Right.
Tony Abrahams.
Right.
I'm not sure where he is or where he went or if he's going to testify this week. He was supposed to testify on Thursday. So she has direct contact with Sean Combs, and we want to hear from the CFO to see what his experience was. So we'll
The
see
former
what happens.
CFO, because
The former CFO, yes.
KK stepped in.
And we will probably hear from KK as well.
Well, she has a lot of, she has several lawsuits pending, so she's probably, I think she's gonna take the fifth. I think because she will expose herself to, to liability if she says certain things.
Yeah.
But if any one of those bodyguards substantiates what Clark is saying with these very serious allegations, that's a problem.
That is a problem.
What time we gotta go back?
105.
105.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is a very serious case, and I got to talk to very serious reporters, and she's a very serious reporter, and I appreciate her sharing her time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you on our next live. I'm out.